Welcome to this session. In this session, let us try to understand what is internet. Everybody use internet, right? Nowadays. And life without internet, nobody can even imagine. Everybody is using internet. Whatever you order on the e-commerce site, you pay bill online, you book cab, taxi, right? Online, everything. Most of the things we nowadays do online. So all these things are facilitated with the help of internet. So what is internet? How it emerged? That's what we are going to see in this video. So what is internet? Correct? So what is our internet? So internet is the global network of network. Global network of networks. Okay. So it's a global network of network. Network we have seen, right? So we have this network. This network is connected to another network. This is again connected to another network. Then this is again connected to another network. So this is this whole mesh of network called as an internet. So internet is a network of network. So what is there in this network? All these nodes are nothing but a computers, right? Some kind of computers. Those can be devices, multiple devices, but all these devices inside hold a logic similar to computer, right? So what is this computer networks then? So what is the purpose of computer network? So computer network purpose is basically what can be purpose if you think of it is just a sharing of information and communication. Okay. It is basic, right? Why we make a network? We have a train network, right? In our country, we have a train network. Why we have train network? To communicate between the states, between the cities, right? To share the resources. One state can share the resources with the other state with the help of train fast, right? So for any network, the basic purpose always is communication and sharing of resources. That is what is the main purpose of computer network also, but in digital world, right? Digital world, same purpose. So now we have understood what is internet and why and what is computer network. Now I want to tell you about this internet versus this internet. You would have seen, right? These two internet, the spelling is same, but the context is different and they usually referred as a differently, right? So this internet with small I, right? Small I, this is usually referred as a intra network. Okay. So if you have a network within your company, then that is a internet. That is this internet. But this internet is usually referred to the whole global internet, right? So it involves all the networks exist on the globe, right? That is called the global network. So always if somebody is referring to somebody has written something and using this term, then you understand that he is referring to the global internet. So now let us try to understand how internet is evolved at first place. Correct. We have seen what is internet, but who invented this internet? How it has evolved? How it has born? So internet is born around the mid of 90s. Okay, last century it has born. So around 1950, around you can say it is born. So it was actually born, means this concept first brought into light by ARPA. The concept of internet brought by ARPA, that is Advanced Research Project Agency. This was the American agency, US agency. Okay. So later on, it is named as a DARPA, that is a defense agency now. Okay. So that is altogether different thing. But this was the agency who has brought this into light. So how the story went, it like in 1950 around, right? 1957 or something around, the Russia, US is against the war with Russia. Okay, so Russia was evolving fast in technological field. So they launched their Sputnik satellite and all. So to counter Russia, right? So US has set up this organization, and they told these guys that you develop, you lead the US technological and scientific evolution. So that time these guys were having a computers. Okay. But the problem was their computers were not able to communicate with each other. They were a standalone. They cannot able to communicate. So from that point, they started researching how they can make their computers communicate. That's how they come up with the concept of network. So what they did, they set up their network. Okay. Now what they achieve is they can now able to communicate only within their office network. Okay. And it was easy. They only set up their rules, how one system should communicate with other, and everything is good for them. Then later on, they extended this concept to some other networks like Stanford, etc. They also brought their system into the network, right? And they joined. But again, there was no standardization here, right? So the problem was these networks able to communicate with each other by the rules set by network administrator, right? Admin. But the systems on the different network couldn't able to communicate because this admin used to set a different language, different rules for this network. Now they weren't able to communicate. That's how the TCP IP protocol got evolved. After evolution of TCP IP, right? This TCP IP also innovated by ARPA only, right? So everybody started moving to TCP IP standards, right? Now the question is who will maintain these TCP IP standards, right? There should be some agency, right? Now you are bringing whole globe network into one standard, right? Then obvious question is who will define these standards and who will manage this? Who will control, who will put restrictions that everybody should follow this way and that way? Then there is a separate agency, okay, which is internet agency, right? So that is called as internet society. This agency is responsible for internet. Okay, this agency has a task force or a subdivision called IETF. So this is Internet Engineering Task Force. Internet Engineering Task Force. Okay, they are the one who define the standards for internet. Okay. So how these standards will be defined? Where again somebody can obviously ask questions, right? So I want to see how TCP/IP standard is defined. So these standards are defined and documented as a part of RFC, that is request for comment. Okay. So who can create the RFCs? Now, for example, now you have a very innovative idea that this way internet should behave, or this innovation you want to propose in HTTPS, something like that, right? So what you can do, you need to create a RFC, okay, and send it to IETF. So they will study your RFC. If they find that it is good, it helps in some way, then that RFC will be considered and it will be officially pushed into the internet. Okay, so that's how the protocols and all the internet evolution happens, right? Everything is documented in the form of RFC. So sample RFC, if I want to show you, right? So it looks like this. This is the RFC for Internet Transmission Protocol, TCP. Okay, so you can see that it starts with this. Then it will have introduction, what it does, all the information with all valid links will be maintained here. Okay, so you can have a look at it. Okay, so this is how it will be documented. So every protocol, whatever you see, right, what all are changes done in the protocol, for everything there will be a associated RFC present. So till now we have seen, right? So as the network started evolving, multiple governments, body, hospitals, then colleges, schools, all were having their networks. They started bringing their networks into the main network so that they can communicate with each other, right? So they started bringing everything together. So during this time, the concept of sharing files, sharing data was needed. So that's how the WWW, World Wide Web, got born. So we don't need to go that much deep, but this was developed by European Council for Nuclear Research. Okay, and Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee is the person who coined this term WWW. So they have built a website, first website, which was actually linked to other websites, other documents. So if you click here, some page will open from other website. But that time website doesn't have this kind of fancy looks, right? So everything will be black and green or black, all looks like your typewriter text, like in that format. If I want to show you, right, how the first website looks like, so it was like this. Okay, I have already clicked it somewhere. So it was like this, World Wide Web. This was the first website. So if you see, right, all these are links. See, you can click on this frequently asked question, it will go to the other page. So this page can be from different website altogether. So it is linked, but you can view it in the same page, right? So that's how the World Wide Web got evolved. So this is how your internet evolved. Now the next question which you will ask is how all these countries, right? We have a lot of countries, all these countries. US is there, here India is there, here Europe is there, for example, here Russia is there, right? For example, all these countries, how these networks are communicating with each other, right? Because there is a sea in the middle, right? Somewhere there will be sea. How those will be communicated? How the network will be communicating? So the answer to this question is all these networks, right? So the US network, the India network, Europe network, the Russia network, all these networks are connected. Now how those are connected? Those are not wirelessly connected. If just imagine if we need to connect it wireless, that will take a hell lot of time, right? So these countries are connected with a networks of wires. There are a lot of wires which are running underground the sea, which we can't even know, which we can't even see, because those are running from very deep. So all these countries are connected with the internet cables. Okay, these are connected. And via this the data will pass. Now if you are accessing from India some website which is in US, right? So your request and response coming via these cables. So these cables are very much important for internet to work. If during war, if somebody attack this cable and cut out, right, then you are completely isolated from the outside world. And these cables will be owned by either government or some big player like Microsoft. They run their own cable network. Then AWS, since these are cloud provider who has their data centers in US, India, Europe, so they also lays their own cables to give the faster response time to their customers. So they have their own networks. Okay, so there will be a map which will actually show you how the networks of internet laid from countries to countries. Okay, so I will actually add that for your reference in the video. You can just search with internet cable network map, right? So just click on this link, first link. So this is how the cables are running. Okay, and you can get more information about these cables. You might get the idea who owns these cables also. So that's how this internet is developed and is running. We are simply using it, but there are a lot of technology involved in internet. That's why internet is one of the innovative thing happened to the humankind. Okay, so see this cables. So this is owned by Tata, right? So you can see this. So that's what I wanted to share with you about internet, just a basic understanding of what network is. So we will go deep as we progress further in this beginner series.